Hello, friends, and welcome back. I am Coach Beth at Viking Vitality. If it's your first time here, welcome. Thank you all for being here. I want to share quite a bit with y'all today. I actually typed it all up. As this is a nonprofit for information and experience sharing situation, I will just be reading directly from what I wrote up rather than delaying the release of this video while stressing how to get it perfect. So I ask that you forgive me as I am still new to video creation. Anyway, moving on. We're going to look at what I'm doing / what I'm eating, touch on some mental issues that are coming up, fasting, alcohol, cravings, fatigue, hair loss, body odor, bathroom irregularity, acne, skin breaking out, my sense of smell, and a couple of extras to close us out. So let's dive in. What I'm doing / what I'm eating. Starting Monday, September the 2nd of this year, 2024, I've only been having water, salt, beef, grass-fed butter, both salted and unsalted, pork, chicken, organ meats, bacon, eggs, cheeses, homemade bone broth, homemade electrolyte mix, unflavored seltzer waters, I'll get back to these, tallow, some ghee, which I don't really like, and I'm grateful that it's gone, and I will not be buying more, coffee, organic usually, organic coconut oil, that I use in my coffee with butter, and as of today, I will probably be out tomorrow, at which point I'll switch to using tallow. Unflavored calm magnesium powder, occasional black tea. I was having upset stomach issues with herbal teas, even good ones. I currently use mushroom powders, cinnamon, and turmeric in my coffee with the fats. I use pure vanilla extract and some pumpkin spice when I make my fat lattes. I also have heavy whipping cream that I use for some recipes. I have been writing down my food, but have not been measuring it or doing minimal measuring. I can gauge protein content and am keeping a general track of how many tablespoons of fat I have each day. I'm eating what I can afford. What I mean by this is I'm not buying all organic, grass-fed, panda-massaged meats, as Dr. Ken Berry likes to say. Mental struggles. I have been experiencing burnout symptoms as of late. The stress of a new diet may be contributing, but the situation did exist prior to now, as I touched on briefly in an earlier video. I find myself very much in my head, always thinking, processing, watching, examining, trying to solve, jumping from one thing to another. I have realized I'm not particularly present with my body. Between this and what I would consider a level of disordered or chronic habitual eating or eating beliefs, I'm working to learn intuition with my body, both in general and around food. An example of this may be dinner time is coming and I don't actually feel hungry. I might even be full. But I eat a little something because I'm worried I'll be hungry later and I'll end up eating outside of this imaginary time window I have to get my food in. Then I end up realizing that was a mistake, and once again, I didn't listen to my body. Over the last several years, I've done some long-term habitual eating, the eating every few hours, 3 meals and 2 to 3 snacks, protein shake right after gym, casein at night, intermittent fasting, 24 to 72-hour fasting. My plate should have this many items on it and this amount, etc. All useful tools. But they do not work for an intuitive way of eating, not when you need to be listening to your body to know what it needs to heal, grow, and build. This is an ongoing mental struggle for me right now, but I am working on self-compassion and mindfulness, teaching myself new possibilities, new truths, and being open to experimenting and making mistakes. Fasting. My original plan was to incorporate a 24-hour fast once a week. I had found that to be stressful at this time and discussed in a previous video of maybe doing something like a fat fast or a bone broth fast. This is still a work in progress. As I've come to grips with this burnout stage that I find myself in, fasting doesn't seem like an additional stress I need at this time. I have been in an on and off state of burnout probably since my mom was first diagnosed with cancer in the first half of 2020. and no doubt more intensely since she passed in October of 2021. Alcohol. All right, let's start with the short science, and then we'll touch on my experiences. I am not condemning alcohol or people who enjoy it. I'm merely going to set down some facts about why it doesn't work well with dieting. Right? The negative effects of alcohol in general include, but are not limited to, metabolic issues, which can open up all kinds of additional problems, as most, if not all, disease is initiated or worsened by metabolic issue. It can disrupt gene expression, which in short means alcohol has a negative impact on the central nervous system, and with frequent enough use, the brain becomes used to functioning with it, then struggles to do so without it. It can set off inflammatory pathways in the intestines, changing the composition of the biome and flora, which can damage intestinal immune function, aka harder to fight off bugs. Increase food cravings, as it causes your blood sugar to drop, causing cravings for unhealthy, flavor-intense foods like pizza, chips, and the like. As alcohol is a toxin, your body will work to metabolize and get rid of it first. This causes your body to basically not pay attention to any food you are stuffing into it, and your fullness signals aren't kicking in. Also, with alcohol, your inhibition is suppressed, so your normal habit of sticking to healthy choices quickly becomes replaced by things like, I'll be fine, and I deserve to have fun. It slows metabolism, preventing your body from burning calories efficiently. In this, it can cause weight gain, fatigue, low energy, difficulty losing weight, cravings, and hormonal imbalance, which hormonal imbalances in themselves can cause these symptoms as well as many more. It will kick you out of ketosis, and it will take extra time to get back and recover, which just recovery itself will take at least a day based on the half-life of alcohol. Alcohol use can damage your liver. As this relates to ketovore and carnivore specifically, fatty meats are processed by the liver. Alcohol is also processed by the liver. The impact here is that the liver cannot effectively induce and maintain ketosis, which, for clarity, is the process of turning fatty acids into energy. And as I said before, alcohol is a toxin in the body, and your body will respond by trying to process and get rid of it first. My experience with alcohol while doing this ketovore, carnivore diet has been unpleasant. I learned very quickly that drinking alcohol in any amount while only having meats and healthy fats will make me feel sick. I experimented and had carbs before alcohol. There were some things in the house I was still working through, and that did ease the sick feelings. But that isn't a particularly intelligent long-term isn't particularly intelligent long-term in my opinion and experience of it. Here, let me eat this bread or whatever, knocking myself out of ketosis so that I can drink this toxin, which also has a ton of empty carbohydrates. I'm not bashing alcohol fully here. I just want to be clear about my experience, as I am someone who enjoys a quality drink and has a habit of having a few on the weekend. This has been a challenge for me. I've also found myself not enjoying it. Sometimes taste, but mostly just in how I feel afterward, mentally, emotionally, physically. It is a struggle trying to get around it, as it has been an integral part of my life for some time. Hubs and I really enjoy a good wine or a quality scotch. I've been working to get creative with replacement weekend drinks, sipping bone broth, making a fat latte, or just some nicer carbonated seltzer water. I go unflavored, as I've had some odd experience with flavored ones. The last time I had it, even with no additives, just filtered water and flavor, carbonated water and flavor. And I can make these things feel like something special, which helps fill the physical action habit of getting the thing, drinking the thing. The lack of alcohol has been beneficial in my marriage and life as well. I find myself calmer, more patient, able to be present and pay attention, especially when we're involved in a video game or something that requires me to concentrate. My current goal is to stay steady on this way of eating, avoiding all carbs and alcohol until possibly sometime in November. Hubs and I went to Scotland last November and brought back a bottle of scotch that we are saving to have only on the anniversary of the trip. I'm open to having some or not, depending on how I feel then. Cravings. The question of cravings often comes up when doing keto, ketovore, or a carnivore. Aren't you craving carbs, sweet things, bread, etc.? Yes. And no. I've craved things occasionally through this process, though most subsided rather quickly as I started to feed my body properly. I would say my biggest craving that I'm still experiencing is alcohol. However, I believe based on my previous habitual and sometimes unhealthy relationship with alcohol, this is more habit and dysfunction-based cravings. As we discussed, between the habit of it and the effect alcohol can have on the brain, the fact that this craving is still present doesn't surprise me. I'll be minding it as I go along. Some suggestions I have been given in regards to craving something sweet was one from my sister, who has been doing this diet since January of this year, is to have some cream cheese with a little cinnamon on it, cold or warm. This can hit the spot. I also suspect some cravings are stress-based. We need some cortisol in our bodies, but too much or too little can be unhealthy. Dr. Elizabeth Bright suggests having some fat like butter when cravings or stress hits. You can also substitute something like frozen tallow bites. Fatigue. I am experiencing fatigue. I have a number of possibilities as to where this could be coming from because fatigue is just like that. It could be my body adjusting to absolutely no carbs in the last 2 weeks, life stresses, not getting enough sleep, especially as a woman, EMFs, who knows. I have been experiencing several symptoms of burnout for some time now, so none of this is surprising if I sit down and think about it. I will continue to keep an eye on it as things progress, but my big suspicion right now is a combination of many things. Hair loss. Yes, I am experiencing this one. I thought for a bit that it was just because my hair has not been this long in many years, and I didn't expect to pull as much hair when brushing it. I use my own homemade shampoo and body soap, so I'm not worried about chemicals as I know exactly what I'm putting on my body. Hair loss is a common side effect of starting a ketogenic diet as your body adjusts to a different way of eating. It is typically temporary but can vary in length of time based on the person. Dr. Ken Berry did a great video about this, which put my mind at ease, and I will link it down in the description below, discussing not only your body simply adjusting, but as it's adjusting, how it's processing and using protein. Your hair and your nails are built with protein, and with the new stresses of a diet change, your body will not focus on your hair and nails, but the rest of you first. I have noticed that I'm growing little hairs, so that's a good sign. Body odor. Yes, so let's get very personal, everyone. Many people will experience changes to your body odor when switching to a ketogenic diet, and not just the armpits. I'll let you do all of the Googling about this, but in short, the change in your diet, the release of ketones, the change in your gut biome, and the change in the composition of your sweat can make you smell a bit funky. I have done some reading from ladies out there, and there seems to be a wide range of how long this lasts and what you can try to do about it. Some have done the application of vinegar or apple cider vinegar to their armpits as an antibacterial, and this has helped. Others switch deodorants. Others still just need to freshen up during the day. It varies. I am certain that mine is not caused by any other issue than the change in diet at this time, as it comes on after I sweat. Bathroom irregularity. With this diet, or any diet typically, comes changes to your bathroom visits. You may find that you're having diarrhea. What is happening here is a combination of things. As your body adjusts to using fats instead of carbs for energy, it may simply expel the fats it isn't using as you adjust. If you have adapted, then you may be having too many fats at that time and the body is expelling it out. As the body doesn't store proteins and fats, if it is functioning well and you're not overeating, it will expel what it isn't using. Removing carbohydrates from your diet also creates a space where you no longer have food in you that holds water, and your colon is relearning how to keep water in that you need. There are a lot of videos out there from several folks about this. It's part of the reason why I tried to move into this diet slowly as opposed to going gung-ho overnight. Oh, also, if you're still drinking coffee on a ketogenic diet, it can make it happen too. I've not had any emergency situations where I haven't been able to make it to the bathroom, but I stay mindful as I'm adjusting. This does pass as your body adjusts and you start to learn what your body wants and needs in terms of protein and fat, and it can vary by the day sometimes. Acne. This one I'm only experiencing very mild amounts of. I've gotten a few bumps here and there on my face or elsewhere. Acne and skin irritation is typically caused by the detoxing process, as your body is removing toxins and oxalates during the healing process of carnivore. Breakouts can happen. My sense of smell. So this is by far the scariest and most fascinating thing I've experienced with this diet. When the vid started, Hubs got it and ended up giving it to me. He was super sick, but mine wasn't too bad. Just a lot of fatigue. After I was better, I discovered that I could not smell and I could not taste. Legit, nothing. Daily, I would stick my face in the container of coffee grounds to see if I could smell them. Nothing. This did cause me to get into spicier foods and honestly some of the more brutal scotches out there, as they were the only thing where I could taste something. This loss and impairment lasted for a year or so. I remember I was eating Greek yogurt next to my friend and she was like, "Oh my God, what is that smell?" Well, it was the yogurt and I eventually picked up on it after she said something. I did not feel well later. No one talks about the real life effects loss of smell can cause you. Like, you can't smell your food. You don't know if it's safe. I had Hubs smell our meat and food for the next few years, even as my sense of smell started to return. I wasn't sure if something smelled like it was supposed to. He was really sweet and would check everything, and if he was out of town, I just wouldn't eat something and I'd throw it in the freezer until he got back if I wasn't sure. After doing an AIP elimination diet a little over a year ago, I felt like my sense of smell had improved. And as I was relearning smells, I became more confident about when I was checking something. Well, in the past several weeks, since switching to the carnivore diet, let me tell you, I can smell everything. I can smell if something is good. I can smell Hub's chocolate protein container, even if it's not open. I can smell the dog's treats that are in the walking bag from across the room. I can smell people's breath. It is wild. As I said, scary and fascinating. My last bonus updates. 1, I'm taking a week or 2 off from having pork, with the exception of bacon. I believe it may be worsening my fatigue and weighing me down. Everyone on the carnivore diet has their things that they can and cannot eat and still feel well. Pork can be harder for some folks to digest, and as it is not a ruminant animal, not being able to get quality pork can put a strain on the system. 2, I gotta tell y'all, prepping on this diet is so easy. Once you wrap your head around how the diet works, it can be so stupid simple. There are plenty of recipes out there where you can get a little bit more involved, like carnivore ice cream, carnivore bread, etc. But just getting started, or even just doing it, can be insanely simple. Things don't go bad because you eat them immediately, within a few days, or you toss them in the freezer. I still make rice and whatnot for Hubs, which I don't mind doing, but it is a pain. Vegetables don't smell good. It's a whole new world out there. So let's wrap it up there. It took me a while to make this video, as I wanted to be sure to gather all of my thoughts and express them as clearly as I could, bringing you guys the best information that I have at my disposal. So, are you doing the carnivore diet? What's your experience with it? Are you thinking about doing it? Let me know in the comments below. Thank y'all so much for being here and your support on this journey. The adventure is always better with friends. Have an awesome day, and I'll see you in the next one. This is Coach Beth at Viking Vitality. Skål and blessings to you.